Hey there, Wargamers, Justin on Paint, and today we're going to check out some HexTech. I'd like to welcome you guys back to the channel. Thank you for tuning in today. If you're new here, please alpha strike that like and subscribe button. And if you are a returning viewer, thank you for returning. Thank you for having my back. I appreciate you being an awesome lance mate, star mate, whatever the case may be for you. Thank you for being here to support what I do. Today, we're going to be getting into the new Battlefield in a Box HexTech line produced by Gale Force for the pre-painted stuff produced or created by Thunderhead Studios. And the guys over at Gale Force were kind enough to send me a set of the new roads. Boom, second box, as well as these right here. We've got some pretty cool looking hills right here. So we've got the Altian steps. We have got the, I was reading the wrong thing, the highway intersections, and we've got the standard highways. These I think are going to these are going to pair pretty well with the terrain that they sent previously, and today we're going to pop these open and check them out. I want to preface today's video by apologizing ahead of time for being a little snuffly and sounding weird. We are fresh back from Nova Open 2023, and the guys over at GF9 had these waiting for me when I got home, and I told them as soon as I got home I would do an unboxing video, and had they been at my house before I left, I probably would have tried to film and edited and got them up before I left, just so I could have them drop on launch, or the video drop on launch today. Launch day, man, stuttering. But that was not the case. So we are back from Nova. I've got a little bit of a throat issue because I ran 40 hours of Battletech Alpha Strike events across 3 days, and I'm dog tired. But I wanted to do right by the guys that sent me this stuff and do the unboxing video and check out what they got. I think this is going to be really, really cool for Alpha Strike and probably really good for classic players as well. But you guys know I like Alpha Strike, so I'll be coming at it from that perspective. With that said, let's go ahead and flip it around here and we will check out these boxes. So first up today, I think we're going to check out the highways box here, and to get things started we'll check out the box itself. Obviously got the wrap on the outside, tag that it's fully painted. You can see the terrain in the background that we have in our previous allotment of terrain that they sent us, and pictures across all of the sides. So pretty standard for what we've seen with the previous boxes. If you missed that video, you can check that out on the channel. This right here says it comes with 6 sections, so we'll check that out. Over here, boom, got this here so you can see what's up, and I thought the other one said that it had, I feel like it said Thunderhead somewhere. I'm not sure exactly where that is on here without me spending a bunch of time looking at it. But yeah, I feel like the other box, let me grab one of these boxes. I thought, unless I'm crazy, because I kept them, they're nice boxes. Okay, so this is designed by Christopher Wales. This right here, if you don't know, that's Thunderhead Studios. Let's see if I missed that. And I don't see it on this box. I know that it was very important to him that he have credit for these, but I don't. Oh, wait. There it is. There it is. I missed it. There it is in the bottom corner. Quick, okay. It just was, this one was bottom left. The other one was bottom right. All right, that said, let's put this other box back. Boom. And let's get into the unboxing of this. And we don't need the pocket knife because that was already torn. So pull off the wrapper here and yeet to the floor. I'll pick that up after. And I guess we will need the pocket knife anyway. So pop that open. Sometimes got to get the Johnny Bravo's in there. Empty box. We'll keep that because it's cool. Put it on a shelf. Kind of nice to have that as a, background. It's much nicer when the wrapper's off because you kind of get more of a, it's got a sheen to it, but it's a little matte. But yeah, let's go ahead and pop open our roads here. And as we check these out, I will also pull out some of the previous terrain so that we can have it kind of lined up with this and you can see what it will look like. Okay. Ooh, I like that one. Very cool. Yeah, I like these. All right. Let's get our bubble wrap out of the way. Other set. Huda, 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 huda. All right, so we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So we got our 10 pieces here, and we've got these. All right, so we need like a connector. How's it? Oh, there we go. Derp. I was trying to do it stupidly. All right, so boom, boom. So these are pre-painted. So you're gonna get some stuff that's the quality is not 100%, so it's a little smudged here. You could go in and tighten it up, but I think for something right out of the box that is already ready to go, this is pretty nice and useful. I'm curious about like these, because they're shorter pieces, but you can't really like turn them. So I guess if you just wanted shorter parts, I feel like these long ones are going to get more use. They feel a little thicker, but they line up pretty well. You can see some of the issues I brought up in the previous video where it's not quite flush. It's not the end of the world, but you do get some areas that aren't, but they feel pretty durable. I really wouldn't bend that completely in half, but it's not too bad. These actually look pretty clean relative to the little bit area that was on that one. But we've got plenty of road here. I think this actually might stretch out a pretty good ways across the table. I currently have a 4x6 table up right now, and we're filming a very small section. And we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 of the long one. Let's go ahead and do like 2 longs, and we'll apply the short ones. Boom, boom. And then we got, let's see, this is gonna be a little bit off camera here as I position these. So yeah, we don't currently have a way to turn these, but I think that's gonna be in the intersections box, which will open up next. But we do have these cool termination points that will terminate on either side, like so. Now we'll transition over to the big camera here so we can actually see how far this would go, because I am on a 4x6. Let's see about how much distance we can get. So I am currently, that is probably covering approximately, probably a little under 5 feet, I bet. We got a gap about that much on each side, but that's a pretty nice spread of road that's going almost all the way across our game table here. And for Alpha Strike, if you're playing Alpha Strike on a 4x4, like you could literally have a road going completely through your battlefield if you wanted to with some extra. So that said, I think for this magic to work, what we really need to do is check out the intersections box so that we can get our roads here to intermingle. So this one here, we're going to get a variety of pieces, and yeah, we'll connect up with our roads, and we will see what we can do with that. Got our wrapper off. Go ahead and pop this open here. Boom, and boom. And again, we'll save this box. These boxes are nice and thick. If one of these gets damaged, like, I feel like you really had to beat on it because they're pretty nice. And I suspect some of you may save these because you could store all of these roads in this one box probably. I suspect some of you guys will keep them to store. Others may put them on the shelf in the background so they look cool, and others will just yeet them. I'll keep them for the background in the videos because it looks nice. Let's go ahead and pop open these roads here, or the intersections here. So we got back to back, we got 2. And it looks like we got 4. Boom, 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 boom. And yep, so same kind of thing in the bottom. So these are actually much nicer. Not that those roads were bad, but like you're not seeing some of that double up gap there. Little smidge there, but not a lot. So yeah, these look a little cleaner. But yeah, this material is very similar to the basing type material that you're seeing on the bottom of the buildings. So it's a little flexy, a little rubbery, which is pretty nice, pretty sturdy, I feel. I wouldn't bend these big ones completely in half because you'd probably damage them, but I don't think that the average gamer is going to be running into issues where they would completely bend their roads in half anyway. So with these large ones, which is cool. We've got what, 1, 2, 3, 4-way kind of stop, and we've got 2 of the 4-way here, and 2 of what looks like kind of a 3-way or a merge. So let's see what we can do. Can these connect? These do connect, so if you want to curve. Let's play around a little bit with our roads. So we've got our long pieces here. We'll put those off to the side and get our smaller pieces. So we got 2 large, 2 small, and 2 termination points. And let's see what we can come up with our roads here. And let's have some long ones kind of going off to the sides, because why not? That seems kind of cool. And yeah, let's have one of these like turns right there. That seems like seems like a smart idea. And maybe we'll have one of the small roads pop up right there. And then maybe we'll have this one turn that direction, and then maybe another little small one to push that out just a little bit. Okay, let's grab one of the long ones here, and we'll have it kind of come this way. And I feel like we need to really spread out these our straights, because we're limited on those. We're limited on where we can go. Let's have that one come out that way. So we've used all of our long ones. I feel like this is a product where if you really want roads, you may end up with more than one set just to kind of make it go specifically where you want it to go. Kind of like that. That's neat. That'll go kind of this direction here. Let's go like that. And I wonder if there's a way to possibly have these like connect in on themselves. I wonder if that's possible. So I'm starting to feel like maybe we should save some of these long ones. I didn't think this out too well. So we've got some more here. So we'll do that, kind of go towards the edge of the map. I didn't consider like exactly where I was going with this to have like any kind of termination. So this one seems pretty good because this one right here has that spot, so we'll have it kind of terminate towards the back of the table. And yeah, so I feel like you're not going to use all of these at one time, or you're going to have termination points realistically, because you end up with a bunch of these like intersections and so forth. But I feel like you need a lot more straights. This one's not too bad because you have that. But yeah, that is pretty cool. Have that there, and I'll try and grab the camera afterwards, and we'll do like a little zoom out here, or I'll pan the camera around so you guys can kind of see a little bit of what we got going on here. It would be really cool if we could find a way to have this fold in on itself, and it almost does. I wonder right here if we could have, let me bring the camera over. So we've got this little chunk. I wonder if one of these small ones would actually fit. Are we gonna have this turn in on itself? I don't think we are. I think we're very close. No, I don't think it's gonna work because like those aren't the same and it's just a little far off. How unfortunate that was. We were so close to making a cool thing happen, but those don't line up quite right for that to work. I mean, we're pretty close. I can almost kind of force that. It's not the end of the world. We've just about got it to kind of wrap in a circle. So with a little fudging of the setup, I think you could kind of get it to look reasonable. And now we've got like a little highway, little thing going on. And then we've got our termination point here. I'll move the camera back. So we've got sort of kind of terminating towards the edge of the table here. And then I've got it kind of going out here on the edge because we round out of space. That kind of goes out. This also is kind of weird because it just terminates there for no reason. But it is what it is. Like I said, I feel like you're probably going to be very well suited to have extra roads. It's probably going to be a good idea. But for the most part, I think this is going to be pretty interesting. Not sure why this just dimmed out. I apologize. So wanted to move the camera here so you can see it kind of terminates because we ran out of parts. So again, you might end up with like multiple packs of these to make it work, but that is pretty cool nonetheless. So let me grab some of the original HexTech buildings here. We'll start to kind of plop some of these on. I've got the bases too. Should we have the bases out? No, we're not going to worry about the bases because then I have to match them up and I don't have a match. So we'll just kind of put some of these city buildings here and you'll kind of start to see how well these are going to look together for a game on your tabletop. And once you add these, I feel like the hexes for Alpha Strike start to really kind of blur away. And that's nice. You kind of start to forget they are there. I really enjoy like city fighting. I think it's cool. You have these interesting buildings to like kind of hide behind and do stuff with. And this looks almost, yeah, this is super cool. It's starting to really kind of come together. I'm digging how this looks. Very neat. I'm going to end up with all these buildings on the table because I think it's really cool. And we'll have that there. And you guys, yeah, you could barely see that one. Let's see if we can add some interesting termination points here. Maybe we'll have like a building that's kind of terminates right there. Who knows why, but it's going to. And then maybe one here. Just a theater of the mind, just a little bit. And we have one right there. So let me grab a few other things that I did not get from Gale Force for free, but stuff that we could use here just to try and spice it up a little bit, move things around. So if you've got other Gale Force products, got some Battlefield in the Box stuff here. And we'll throw a few trees in here as well. And I think these are going to really spice up how the table's looking. I think that's pretty neat. And I don't have another base plate for this, so we'll just throw a few trees over there. And then we've got a little water feature that we'll have here. And I'll pan the camera around now so you guys can see everything that I'm looking at, because you probably couldn't see everything there. So give me a moment, and there we go. So got the water down here coming in. We've got, you know, like a little tower that's terminating. Got this, and see this, like that's not super seamless because it's not on Hex, but it still looks great for like Alpha Strike. For Classic, it's not. This isn't going to work as much. These are perfect, and this is a nice little city with a little extra effort and thought going into what we've got going on here. You can get a really nice table and have things set up in a practical way. That said, let me go ahead and slide these out of the way, and we're going to check out this right here. Boom, and maybe we'll be able to kind of have it set up with this around the outskirts and see how that looks. All right, so let's go ahead and pop this box open here. Check out what the Betlian steeps or steps look like. Because these are kind of brown, they might juxtapose a little bit with this, or might have a bit of a drastic change in tone. I feel like if these were like green with some grass, that would work. But I did just get some cool products from Nova from Dirty Down, and maybe throwing some of the moss on these might actually be an interesting way to get something that looks kind of like a little bit of grass on top. So I might do that, I might not. We'll see how I feel. That said, this is what we're going to check out here, and we're getting one of this, one of this, one of that, and one of that. So we'll see what these look like. So we get 4 hills total. These are wrapped up singularly. And we'll check out what we got. This is a small hill right here. A little one. And clearly defined. So a mech, I think I've got one sitting here. That can kind of stand up there pretty well. It's an old Robotech guy. So that works out pretty good. That looks like the small one. This is sealed pretty well, so we're going to try and get this open. Because the tape, oh, did it? Oh, it cut deep enough. Okay, cool. All right, I like that these have like that felt bottom, which is really nice. It just feels premium and feels like that's also going to help a little bit with the slip and the slide on the table, which is nice too. So there we go. I feel like value-wise, I do think at first glance that customers are probably going to like the roads and buildings a little bit more than the hills because they might get more functionality out of that. Maybe, I do think these are functional, but in terms of overall footprint on the table, the roads and the buildings just take up a lot of space. But this is nice. That was curled up a little bit, but we'll just mash that down. Yeah, and this just, you know, basic hill looking stuff, sprayed, looks like it's sprayed, dry brushed, so they put the felt on. So nothing fancy, but works out quite nice. And let's check out the last of our hills. This one's giving me some trouble getting this open. There we go. Now, okay, I like this one. This has got a really interesting shape, a really interesting profile like that. The other thing that I really like about these is we're getting such really nice organic look and texture. The tops are flat for obvious reasons, so you can play on them, but the sides don't look 3D printed. And this is clearly not 3D print, but the base design files are based off of 3D print stuff. and this right here is solid, and they did a good job prepping the molds for this to not show the striation of the FDM masters that they probably made these off of, so very nice. Now you don't get a lot of pieces here, but let's go ahead and place these on the table and see kind of how they'll look on the outskirts of our terrain here. All right, so I set these up just a little bit, and I think this kind of reminds me of something that might be akin to maybe like Arizona or something. So you got a little bit of desert on the outskirts, little hills with your buildings in there in between, and I think that is pretty cool. Functional enough to have your little mini here, pop on over and climb the hills, try and assault the city and whatnot. I think from the stuff that I've got currently from Gale Force 9, specifically for Hex City in particular, I think that I really like the buildings. The roads are a nice addition. I think in terms of functionality, the hills are good, but I feel like you would want more of them, and you just don't get as many as you do with the buildings. So I feel like people are probably going to skew more towards the buildings over the hills, and the buildings are also just more interesting looking because they're buildings, they're not hills, so I get that. That said, let's go ahead and talk about the price point on these and let you know what I think. Price-wise, kind of going in reverse order here, the Atlian steps are coming in at $40. That's roughly $10 per hill. And you know, if you're scaling it, like this one's not actually 10, you just get four hills for $40. These bigger ones are probably going to be more the value. For me, is this value there? I think for this product in particular, that's going to really come down to you as the customer and what your needs are, what your budget is. For the buildings in particular, for the previous ones that I reviewed, it was a lot easier for me to say, yes, jump on the buildings, great value. I don't think these are inherently bad. I just think in relation to these cool, slick painted buildings right out of the box, that these are just basic hills. And I think it's going to be difficult for people to justify spending the money on these relative to the buildings if they're on a hobby budget. If you're not on a hobby budget, you get what you want. And being able to buy these out of the box pre-painted is got some value to it, or does have some value to it, for those of you gamers like myself who don't have as much free time as they would like. But as an honest opinion, I think that the buildings and the hobbies are going to be a bit more appealing for hobbyists and gamers who are looking to let go of their dollars. Coming in next, going into the intersections and highways, we're going to lump these together. Both of these boxes are $40 respectively. Do I think that's a good value? I honestly think that these roads are better value than the hills here. And hear me out, in my opinion, relative to the hills, I think the roads here, they take up a lot more footprint by comparison. Now, we do have this set up on a 4x6. I'm not using the full table here, as you guys can see. But for a standard Battletech Alpha Strike game, this is going to fill up a 4x4 pretty nicely, especially when you sprinkle in the buildings, whereas these, for the same price, don't give you as much footprint. Now, yes, these do give you cover and 3D terrain to traverse, but this, in terms of battlefield coverage and overall immersion, you get more bang for your buck, in my opinion. If there was one downside that I would give for the roads here, it wouldn't necessarily be a downside. It'd be more of a amount of dollars you should spend. I really do think if you're going to buy these, you should get 2 copies of the highways. Why do I say that? Well, if you start looking at over here, you end up with some weird termination points. Over here was good. This kind of intersected there, but then we have these weird terminations that just go nowhere. So perhaps there'll be a future set that has more termination style points, because this is fantastic. I love that. More things like that to fill up your terminations would be great, but we currently don't have them. So having more of these long roads and little smaller roads for you to push out the boundaries to force this closer to your table edge, right? I think that is going to be something a lot of players want. So for $80, you can get all of the roads here. For $120, you would be able to get a much more diverse footprint. For 4x4, is this current setup good? Yes, if you want to play on a bigger table. I think the extra short and long straight pieces of the roads with the little curve is probably going to do you just fine and get you where you want to be. And there you have it, guys. That is an unboxing and my checkout of the new stuff from HexTech here. So obviously we've got the highways, the intersections, and the Atlian steps, which I think are great. Do I think that the value is going to be quite the same as the buildings for you gamers out there? That remains to be seen. If I was a betting man, which I'm not, but if I was to guess, I do think the buildings are probably going to be a little bit more popular just because of the amount of footprint and immersion they give you on the table. I think the roads are going to be a close second to that, and then I think that the hills are going to be a distant third. I don't think there's anything inherently wrong with them. I just feel like if I was having to pick one product, and it's like, am I going to spend 40 on roads, 40 on buildings, or 40 on hills? I'm probably going with the buildings. If I had an extra 40 to spend, am I going to spend it on roads, or am I going to spend it on some hills? Probably the roads, given how much space it gives. And then if I'm going to spend another 40, am I going to get the hills or the intersections? Maybe the intersections, so my roads can actually intermingle. Now, your mileage may vary, it may be a little bit different, but one of the beauties of this particular product is that Thunderhead has some really nice STL files for the other roads and products that he makes, or not roads, I guess roads too, but the other hills and organic materials that he does offer, in addition to his buildings too. So if you do buy the pre-colored stuff, you could 3D print your own hills, save some hobby dollars, and it's still going to fit in with the overall aesthetic because the designer is the same guy. So for me, in closing, if I was trying to save some hobby dollars, I'd probably get some buildings, maybe get the roads, check out some of the Gale Force 9 Battlefield in a Box trees to spice up your table, and if you're trying to save a little bit of money, maybe get some 3D printed version of these hills because you can get a similar effect like this and probably save a little bit of hobby dollars. That said, folks, that's going to bring me to the conclusion of today's video. Big shout out for Gale Force 9 for having the Flames of War guys send this over to me and let me check out this product. If you haven't already, make sure you go over and check out their website. Make sure you follow Thunderhead Studios. Chris is a really good guy. We have a good working relationship with him over here at Death Row Designs. And if you're looking to pick up any of his 3D stuff, make sure you check out our website as well. Anything that Gale Force 9 is not currently producing, we over here at Death Row Designs will be producing, at some point at least, his 3D designs for the North American market to pick up. If you like what you watched here, please make sure you hit that like, subscribe. If you want to support what I do, check the description down below. Checking out Fortress Miniatures and Games, the primary sponsor of the channel, helps support me too. And he's a local guy, and I really like Bobby. I enjoy playing in his tournaments and supporting him. So if you want to pick up some Battletech stuff, check him out. If you're interested in helping support me, check out Death Row Designs, where I work. Picking up things there really does help out because it helps me maintain my day job. And finally, if you like painting and you want to check out the paints that I like to use, check out Monument Hobbies. Pro Acrylic is my jam. That said, if you want to be a super supporter, you might also consider becoming a patron. That's been growing pretty well, which has been awesome. But now, as we're at the end of this video, as you guys know, I will continue to ramble if I don't shut up and make myself get off here. So, as always, thank you guys for hanging out with me today. Keep painting your models, keep rolling your dice, and I'll catch you guys next time. If you're still sitting here watching this video, it means you have made it through the credits and I am still rambling for just a moment. The guys over at Gale Force 9 sent me a bunch of the actual buildings here for free. In addition to these, I'd already done an unboxing review of those, and they sent me the extra ones anyway, and they told me I could do whatever I want with them. So our channel is approaching 4,000 subs. As soon as we hit that, I'm going to start trying to figure out a way to give away some of their Battlefield in a Box HexTech buildings for you guys, as well as some of my patrons. So keep an eye out for that. If you haven't already subscribed, make sure you do so, and don't miss an opportunity to win some of this super sweet terrain. That said, now I'm going to sneakily head off here. Thank you guys for hanging out. I'll catch you guys